When muscles freeze, focus fades, how cold weather quietly steals your shooting consistency. Every shooter has lived this moment. You unzip your rifle case, your breath turns to mist, and as you raise your rifle or pistol, something feels off. Your hands feel stiff, your trigger pull seems slower, and that usual smooth rhythm feels distant. The cold morning air feels crisp, but your body feels heavy, unresponsive. You are aiming at the 10 ring, but inside, you already know, today, your body is not moving the way it should. That is not just a bad day. That is cold weather reducing muscle flexibility, a silent saboteur that affects even the most seasoned shooters. What is it and why it happens? This is a physique-based and process-related issue with psychological side effects. In simple terms, when the body is exposed to cold, muscles lose elasticity and take longer to warm up. Blood flow slows, nerve conduction drops, and joints stiffen. As a result, your reaction time, fine motor control, and endurance all decrease. In shooting, where micro-movements decide metals, even a 5% reduction in flexibility can cause major deviations. Cold does not just make you feel stiff, it changes the physiology of precision. When temperatures fall, vasoconstriction reduces blood flow to the limbs, limiting oxygen supply and muscle efficiency. Synovial fluid in joints thickens, reducing joint mobility and smoothness of motion. Nerve signaling slows down, so muscles and fingers react later than the mind expects. This scientific cascade is the reason even elite shooters struggle to reproduce their normal smoothness when it is cold. Effects on performance. First, the technical impact. Group shifting. Muscles that are not relaxed cannot repeat the same position, leading to left-right or high-low drifts. Stability issues. Tremors increase as muscles tighten. Balance becomes harder to maintain, especially in standing positions. Timing breakdown. Slow nerve responses cause delayed trigger breaks and inconsistent follow-through. Accuracy loss. Even a 1 mm involuntary movement at the muzzle equals 4 to 6 mm drift on target at 10 meters. Over a 60-shot series, this could mean 10 to 15 points lost. In addition, grip and trigger sensitivity change drastically in cold conditions. Reduced tactile feedback from the fingers and palms makes shooters unknowingly apply uneven or excessive trigger pressure. Cold also induces micro-tremors, which amplify trigger movement errors, particularly for pistol shooters. It is important to maintain warmth in the hands and forearms to preserve fine touch sensation and smooth control. And the psychological impact due to which frustration builds as the body does not listen. Shooters start overthinking their technique, doubting their grip or trigger. Confidence dips, and fear of cold starts develops over time. Over multiple matches, this can erode self-belief, leading to anxiety even before the match begins. Cold air also leads to shallow breathing, reducing oxygen intake and causing lightheadedness or lack of clarity. This contributes to overthinking and slower reaction times. Shooters may begin feeling mentally foggy or frustrated, unaware that it is caused by reduced oxygen supply and slower blood circulation. Identification of the problem. Some observable signs: slower shot rhythm, longer hold times before triggering, heavier or stuck feel in shoulders, wrists, and neck, inconsistent trigger breaks or late shots in scat or noctile traces, small groups in practice, but wild variations in matches. How to distinguish it? Unlike mental lapses, this issue shows up only in cold or air-conditioned environments. Warm-up shots gradually improve performance, a clear giveaway that it is temperature-related. Also, watch for stiffness in hips and hamstrings that causes small shifts in your stance or NPA. When your body weight distribution changes subtly, you may find your hold drifting despite identical technique. If you feel discomfort in your lower back or hip rotation during holding, that is a sign that muscle stiffness has already begun affecting your posture. Remedies and corrections. Physical fixes first. Dynamic warm-ups before handling equipment, shoulder rolls, squats, arm swings. Micro-activation. 20 seconds of light isometric holds, rifle lift position without load. Use thermal inners, like Harmony Pro, that retain body heat while allowing mobility. Maintain core temperature. Cold torso equals cold limbs equals slow trigger. A structured warm-up should ideally last at least 15 to 20 minutes before handling the rifle or pistol. Start with 5 minutes of gentle cardio or skipping, followed by 5 minutes of mobility drills, then dry holding or aiming exercises. Warm-ups should include joint rotations for shoulders, elbows, and hips to activate deep stabilizing muscles. Then comes technical corrections, which includes shortened match preps, fewer dry shots, more structured warm-up series. Conduct SCAT analysis pre and post warm-up to compare hold patterns. Practice cold starts during training to simulate match conditions. Monitor the natural point of aim after every 10 shots, as stiffness can shift posture unnoticed. Cold weather can also affect equipment. Compressed air behaves differently at low temperatures, leading to a slight drop in velocity. Shooters should check cylinder pressure and re-zero sights after equipment has adjusted to the environment. Cold metal parts can also feel different on trigger contact, so using insulated trigger guards or hand protection can help maintain consistent sensitivity. Finally, mental remedies, which includes reset routines. Use controlled breathing to release stiffness and anxiety. Self-talk. My body is warming up with every shot. Simple but powerful. Visualization. Imagine warmth spreading from core to limbs before the match. Introduce temperature acceptance instead of resistance. Mentally reframe the cold as part of your environment, not your enemy. Use visualization, where you imagine your breath bringing warmth and control to every muscle. Journal your performance on cold days to track adaptation and self-confidence improvements over time. Progressive drills and workouts. For beginners, at home, warm-up circuit. 3 rounds of jumping jacks, arm circles, squats, and wall push-ups. Dry holding with focus on shoulder relaxation. Journaling. Track the feel of muscle looseness before and after warm-up. Also include breathing drills. Practice diaphragmatic breathing in warm indoor environments, focusing on expanding your lower ribs rather than your shoulders. This habit carries into cold weather, helping maintain stability and calmness. Intermediate drills. Range-based. Alternate 10 shots cold versus 10 shots post warm-up and compare grouping. SCAT trace review. Look for hold smoothness after temperature adaptation. Add balance and coordination drills. 1 leg holds, slow rifle lifts. Include mobility-based NPA checks, moving slightly between series and re-establishing your stance to train proprioception. Shooters should also practice timing drills with delayed triggers to observe if the cold affects shot release rhythm. Advanced drills for competition shooters. Integrate pre-match thermal routines, stretch bands, dynamic stretches. Simulate cold match starts weekly. Track muscle readiness with heart rate and breath rhythm journaling. Teen shooters. Use musical rhythm breathing to stay fluid even in cold. Advanced shooters should build a 3-week cold weather adaptation cycle. The first week includes moderate practice volume and gentle warm-ups. The second week increases training intensity with cold start drills. And the third week simulates full match conditions in the cold while monitoring recovery and post-shooting mobility. ISSF does not allow external heaters or thermal pads on the firing line, but proper inner layering, non-restrictive, breathable, is permitted. With new uniform stiffness and flexibility standards, cold muscles feel stiffer even faster, so warm-up mobility becomes more important than ever. Shooters must comply with Rule 7.5.1.4, clothing must not give artificial support, so layering must balance warmth without rigidity. Additionally, Rule 6.4.3.2 ensures all shooters compete under similar environmental conditions, which means no shooter can use warming aids like heaters or battery-powered warmers during competition. The focus must be on intelligent layering and dynamic movement to maintain flexibility naturally. One of my shooters, Aditi, faced this at a winter match in Delhi. Her first 10 shots were erratic, 9.3, 9.6, 9.4, even an 8.9, all drifting to 7 o'clock. After 15 minutes and a few stretches between series, she regained flow. Final 30 shots averaged 10.3. The SCAT trace showed increased hold movement amplitude during the first 8 minutes. the classic sign of muscle coldness and delayed stability. Traces recorded in similar situations often show longer entry times into the stable hold zone and slightly longer tail movements after the trigger break, indicating reduced muscle control. A 20 to 25% longer pre-hold trace is usually an indicator of muscle stiffness affecting precision. Recovery and cooldown component. After shooting in the cold, a short cooldown helps preserve flexibility. Light shoulder and hamstring stretches, gentle trunk rotations, and forearm stretches prevent next-day tightness. Applying mild warmth, like a hot compress or warm shower, enhances blood flow and recovery. This habit maintains long-term mobility and reduces muscle pull risk during the next cold session. Nutritional and hydration factors. Cold weather makes shooters drink less water without realizing it. Mild dehydration thickens the blood and reduces muscle elasticity. It is essential to sip warm water or electrolyte-infused fluids regularly. Consuming foods rich in magnesium and potassium, such as nuts, bananas, and leafy greens, supports muscle relaxation and nerve function. Visual and ocular effects. Cold and dry air can disturb tear film balance, leading to blurry or watery vision. Warm your eyes gently by palming them for a few seconds before aiming. Ensure that your Lorgnet Pro lenses stay fog-free by allowing the equipment to acclimate to ambient temperature. Sudden fog or mist can also change brightness perception, so adjust your sight picture accordingly. Team and coaching strategies. Coaches should organize group warm-ups before matches and encourage shooters to stay active between relays. Shooters waiting for their turn should perform micro-stretches or aim simulations to prevent muscles from cooling down. Monitoring posture during downtime ensures stiffness does not return between series. Cold weather injury prevention. Cold, stiff muscles are more prone to strain. Shooters must lift rifles gradually, avoiding sudden jerks or exaggerated holds early in the session. Joint protection through progressive load and proper warm-up prevents shoulder, elbow, and lower back injuries that often arise in winter. Allow rifles and pistols to acclimate for 15 to 20 minutes to the shooting environment before firing. This prevents air pressure variation and condensation that can affect performance. Use moisture-absorbing packs in cases to avoid rust formation on metallic parts and maintain consistent trigger feel. I often tell my shooters, a frozen body cannot host a focused mind. Just like you warm your rifle barrel before precision shots, your muscles need their own warm-up fire. Cold does not test your talent, it tests your preparation. Have you ever faced this stiffness in your match? What is your personal pre-cold ritual before stepping onto the line? If this post helped you understand your winter shooting struggles better, like, share, and forward it to your shooting buddies. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Horizon Shooting Sports, for detailed videos on physical, mental, and technical training. Contact me if you want personalized mental or shooting training programs, or to learn how Horizon Sports accessories can support your performance in all weather conditions.